to me, there's a who pick who he fight with.
Right.
Like if you sit there and you go, oh, I'm not going because this nigga.
Him, but I fuck this motherfucker.
Yeah, I think I can take him.
Right.
I believe people play with people intelligence the way they play with people intelligence and intellect. You know, the way they do today. You know, people are telling lies for a living. You know,
when I got out there, they showed me a lot of love. But Shreveport had the infrastructure already here. Like even the tax incentive was put back.
Yeah. And so a lot of people have been talking about, man, he's here only because they gave him a cheap deal or something like that. The reality is there's more to that deal than that. Way more.
They can't see
Break that down.
I'm spending $20 million this year anyway in the same building that they're saying was the cheap building.
Right.
So find somebody else to spend it.
Maybe we need to change the word for the youngsters. The checking in part, you know, is they seem to get hung up on that word checking in.
Yeah.
So if we could diversify that word and bring it up to a 2021 thing.
Right. What's the word, OG? What's the word?
Maybe we may want to tell them they need to get.
Welcome back to JuicyPulse, your daily dose of scandal and glamour. Let's spill the tea on today's biggest celebrity stories. Tony Yayo just pulled up on Jay Prince, and what he dropped might be the boldest call out in hip-hop history. See, Jay Prince tried to hit 50 Cent with that classic check-in hustle, the same one that's kept Houston artists in line for decades. But instead of backing down, 50 straight up blew the lid off the whole thing. He dared Jay to come see him, turning a quiet feud into a full-on street-level showdown between G-Unit's no-nonsense crew and Houston's underground empire. This beef, it didn't start yesterday. It's been bubbling in the shadows for years, just waiting to boil over. Now it's war. To really understand how it spiraled, we gotta take it back. Jay Prince, the man behind Rap-A-Lot Records, isn't just some label boss. He's been running Houston like a shadow kingpin. Smooth, low-key, but untouchable. He don't scream for respect, yo, he commands it. In H-Town, his name alone is enough to make people freeze. You don't touch down in Houston without giving Jay Prince a heads up, not unless you're ready to risk walking out without your chain, or worse. But 50 Cent, he's never been one to play those street games. From day one, he's been about standing 10 toes down and calling the bluff, man, no matter who's on the other side. And now, the smoke's real. The lines are drawn. This ain't no friendly rap spat. This is the streets watching. 50 Cent didn't just beef with Ja Rule and Irv Gotti. He demolished the whole Murder Inc. circle and carved out his name in the game by never backing down. G-Unit was built like a street army. No check-ins, no bowing down, and definitely no paying for protection. That ruthless energy set the tone early and made one thing clear. 50 don't play mob politics. So when whispers started flying about 50 possibly moving to Houston, oh, that was more than relocation talk. That was a signal that a turf war might be brewing, because stepping into Jay Prince's city without checking in, that's not just disrespect. That's a declaration. And guess what? 50 actually did it. At first, the whole thing played out like a hip-hop Cold War. 50 was in New York, cracking jokes and pulling strings from a distance, trolling like only he can. Meanwhile, Jay Prince was in H-Town, posted up like the city's quiet ruler. They threw jabs in the dark, low-key tension, never touching down on each other's soil, until 50 lit the fuse on social media. Out of nowhere, he tweeted, "I love New York, but I live in Houston now. I'll explain later." Boom! That wasn't just shade. That was a statement. He wasn't moving for clout. He had a real plan. New York taxes were draining his empire, so he made the boss move, and straight to Houston. The city had everything he needed. Lower taxes, wide open space, and a growing rap scene ready for takeover. Plus, his Branson Cognac brand needed a southern launch pad, and Houston's liquor market, straight fire. 50 had a vision. Not just to chase a bag, but to tap into Houston's culture, elevate his brand, and pump serious entertainment money back into the city. But there was one problem. He didn't check in. And in Houston, that's not something you skip, especially when Jay Prince is watching. Word on the street is, Jay Prince took that move as pure disrespect, like 50 was trying to come in and play king without even acknowledging the throne. And allegedly, Jay wasn't having it. Sources say he sent people to apply pressure behind the scenes. Some even claim he tried to make 50 cough up cash for so-called street-level protection. But 50, he wasn't about to fold. Not now, not ever. He made it loud and clear to his team. G-Unit rolls deep with their own security. They don't answer to nobody and definitely don't pay for respect. And that's when things got spicy, fast. J Prince allegedly responded with heat of his own, trying to put a no-fly zone on 50. That's street code for, you're not welcome in my city. That might work on rookies, but 50 Cent? He laughed at it. He turned the whole thing into a spectacle on Instagram. Memes, sneak disses, and captions loaded with smoke. He clowned the whole situation like it was primetime entertainment. And then, he dared J Prince to actually do something. Behind closed doors, it got even messier. 50 was already knee-deep in plans to build a $20 million G-Unit film and TV studio right in J Prince's backyard. This move was supposed to be major. 50's G-Unit studio could have brought jobs, internships, and real buzz to Houston's streets. But out of nowhere, the whole operation got yanked and relocated to Shreveport, Louisiana. Officially, 50 claimed the infrastructure was better over there. But come on, if you're really tuned in, you already know the vibes. Street politics in Houston were heating up fast, and 50 wasn't about to risk building an empire while snakes were circling. He saw the setup coming and dipped before things could go sideways. And here's where it gets poetic. J Prince might have tried to force him out, and but the city? Oh, they had other plans. Just 1 year after 51st touchdown in H-Town, the people weren't just letting him stay, they were rolling out the red carpet. In 2022, Houston's own mayor, Sylvester Turner, handed 50 the key to the city during the Thanksgiving Day parade. He literally gave him a holiday. November 24th is now 50 Cent Day in Houston. The crowd went wild as 50 stood on that float like a king, not some outsider. Turner praised him as a businessman, a giver, and a mentor to high schoolers through his G-Unity program. But he didn't stop at parades. Through the G-Unity Foundation, 50 started making real moves in the community. Turkey drives, toy giveaways, school donations. He showed love back to the city, even while the power players were trying to shut him out. 50 didn't just make noise in Houston, he took over the city on a whole different level. He linked up with the Houston Rockets, Texans, and Astros through his Sire Spirits brand, turning partnerships into power moves. In 2023, he dropped $850,000 worth of toys on the community. No flex, just facts. Then in 2024, he helped raise a whopping $500,000 for the Houston Children's Charity. And get this, that wasn't even the peak. That same year, he auctioned off 2 giant bottles of his Le Chemin du Roi champagne at a charity event, racking in $500,000 just from that. The event altogether pulled $6 million, and 50 was at the center of it all. Meanwhile, J Prince was allegedly watching all this go down like a dethroned king. The man who once ruled Houston's streets from the shadows now had to witness someone else getting love in full daylight. Cameras flashing, crowds cheering, the whole city backing 50 like he'd been there forever. Then came Tony Yayo, G-Unit's most unfiltered voice, keeping it raw on Vlad TV. He finally explained why G-Unit never messed with that check-in game. According to Yayo, they moved militant for a reason. He dropped it plain and simple. The whole check-in system, just a slick way to line rappers up for extortion. Check in, pay up, or get robbed. Straight up. J Prince built his whole image on this idea that he was the one protecting artists when they stepped into Houston. He crowned himself the king of H-Town. But the system he set up, that friendly check-in routine, according to Tony Yayo, it's all smoke and mirrors. It sounds harmless at first. Just pay some respect, show love, and you're good. But behind the scenes, it's nothing more than a glorified extortion play dressed up like Southern hospitality. The so-called rules are simple. If you're an artist coming to Houston, you're expected to check in with J Prince. Show respect, which really means cough up some cash. The excuse, it's for your safety. If your chain disappears, it magically comes back if you're on the right side, but if you don't play along, that's when things get dicey. Yayo didn't sugarcoat a thing. He even mentioned Pop Smoke's tragic death as a warning. He said when artists start leaning on street alliances or get too comfortable, they turn themselves into walking targets. Street protection ain't free. It comes with strings. And when the heat hits, those same guys vanish. No one's really there to back you up. Yayo didn't stop there. He dropped a bomb. These so-called mob ties and gangster moves, they're exactly the type of activity that gets the feds sniffing around. This ain't the 90s anymore. This is Ryko territory now. He said it straight. G-Unit ain't playing those games. They stay dangerous, stay ready, and keep their circle tight. No favors owed to street dudes with secret agendas, and this This is where things start getting ugly. NBA YoungBoy pulled up to Houston on business, kept it low-key but refused to check in. And just like that, boom, his spot gets hit. Chains, gone. Cash, snatched. Even his car keys vanished into thin air. Then out of nowhere, Jay Prince shows up on Instagram playing the hero, claiming he recovered the stolen goods. But instead of making a private call to YoungBoy, he posted a video for the whole world to see. Why go public like that? YoungBoy didn't hold back, and he clapped back hard. He basically said, if Jay Prince was really trying to help, he wouldn't be moving like a clout-hungry 60-year-old on social media. It was less about help and more about flexing for attention. And then Cameron and Maze jumped into the mix, dragging Jay Prince straight through the mud. They said real OGs lift the next generation up. They don't pull power plays disguised as favors. According to them, if you're still playing mob boss in your 60s, you've already lost the game. Then there's the dice games, Jay Prince's second favorite pastime after intimidation. These high-stakes games are legendary in Houston, but not for the right reasons. People been whispering for years that they're rigged traps just waiting for rappers to slip up. And the most heartbreaking example? Takeoff. We all remember how that night ended. A dice game that spiraled into chaos. One of the purest talents in the game. Gone forever after things went left in a setup no one saw coming. So what really went down that night? According to the whispers, and they're louder than ever, this wasn't just some tragic fluke. Multiple sources say Jay Prince was heated that Takeoff and Quavo didn't check in the way he expected. Allegedly, he gave the green light to teach them a lesson. It was supposed to be light, just a scare, but it turned deadly. Takeoff lost his life, and in the aftermath, Jay Prince dodged accountability like he's been doing this for decades. Anytime the situation gets brought up, he dances around it, deflects, mumbles, downplays everything like it was out of his hands. But at one point, he basically admitted to destroying evidence. That's not just shady, that's serious. And Takeoff wasn't the only one. Remember Duke the Jeweler? He walked out of a dice game with $100,000 in his pocket, thinking he just had the night of his life. But before he could even make it to his car, he was ambushed, robbed, and gunned down. Just like that, gone. Another talented black man taking over what? Rigged games and a twisted code of respect that only benefits those pulling the strings. So, when you line this up against what 50 Cent's been doing, it's not even close. 50's out here building community centers, feeding families, and putting kids on the right path. Meanwhile, the old guard's clinging to power through intimidation and street fear. But here's the twist. 50's not just trolling anymore. Word is, he's collecting receipts. Sources close to the situation say 50's been moving smart, not just loud. While the internet's been eating up the memes and shade behind the scenes, he's allegedly been building a case. Quiet conversations, legal whispers, even footage. The kind of evidence that doesn't go viral, but hits hard when it lands in the right hands. Because 50's not just beefing anymore, he's strategizing. He's been watching every move, every post, every dice game that goes left. Word is, he's documenting patterns and the setups, the pressure plays, even the mysterious silence that follows when someone gets hit and nobody says a word. Meanwhile, Jay Prince keeps popping up trying to rewrite the narrative, dropping statements, making appearances, still trying to play that OG protector role. But the streets are split now. Half see him as a legend, the other half calling him outdated, dangerous, and more concerned with control than community. And in the middle of all this, 50's out here flipping the script. Instead of answering with violence or threats, he's building empires, liquor deals, TV shows, community outreach, and turning Houston into a base of power, not through fear, but through impact. So, the question now isn't who runs the streets, it's who's really winning, because legacy talks louder than intimidation, and it looks like 50's playing chess, while the rest are still stuck playing dice. Now the city's watching and the silence is getting loud. People who used to ride with Jay Prince, they're starting to switch up. Not all at once, but little by little. Club owners, promoters, even some OGs are backing off, keeping their distance. No one wants to get caught in the crossfire if this turns federal. And with all the whispers about RICO and shady dealings, that knock could come any day. Meanwhile, 50 keeps leveling up. No slowdowns, no stumbles. He just locked in another deal for a crime drama series, rumored to be inspired by real street figures. The irony? It might end up mirroring this whole situation, art imitating life, or exposing it. He's not naming names yet, but insiders say it's packed with coded messages, street references, and scenes that feel too real to be fiction. And while Jay Prince still has influence, it's not the same anymore. The mystique, fading, the fear, slipping, the power, shifting. People don't move off legend alone now. They want results. And 50's got receipts. This ain't about rap beefs or street clout anymore. It's about legacy, power moves, and who's really standing tall when the dust settles. Because in 2025, respect doesn't come from threats. It comes from receipts, impact, and the receipts you don't post online. With every move 50 makes, the gap gets wider. He's not just stacking deals, he's reshaping how power works in hip-hop. No more gatekeepers in the shadows, no more hush-hush favors behind closed doors. He's putting it all out in the open. His money's clean, his brand's global, and his moves strategic. He's turned Houston into more than a city. It's his statement. And what's wild is, the people are choosing sides. Not in some loud, flashy way, but with their time, their attention, their money. They're showing up to 50's events, supporting his causes, signing up for his programs. He's winning the city without firing a single shot. Meanwhile, J Prince's empire is starting to show cracks, and those dice games getting less packed. The respect, more forced. Even the younger artists are getting wise, asking questions, keeping their distance. The old rules ain't holding up no more. And now there's talk, quiet but real, that 50's building a team of legal hitters, lawyers, investigators, insiders, not to take Jay down directly, but to protect what he's building, to make sure nobody can shake his foundation. Because 50's playing the long game. He's not in it for one viral moment. He's here to cement legacy, block by block, deal by deal, fact by fact. This ain't checkers. This is real power. And the streets, they're watching every step. Word on the street, 50's been talking, not loud but strategic. Quiet meetings, real convos, and people flipping behind the scenes. He's allegedly collecting receipts, real proof that the check-in game is more than just tradition. It's a straight-up extortion pipeline, and he's not being subtle about it either. He's dropped hints that the feds are watching. If that door cracks open, it's game over. 50 doesn't bluff. He plays chess, not dice. While the memes got the internet laughing behind the scenes, he might be prepping for the final move. One post, one leak, one quiet federal knock, and J Prince's whole legacy could unravel in front of the world. It's bigger than just one man versus another now. One of them's got the streets in check, the other got the city in his pocket, but only one is winning the war. 50 Cent didn't just move to Houston, he claimed it. While J Prince was allegedly trying to run artists out, 50 pulled up bold, got praised by the mayor, and started building real programs that gave back to the people. From community centers to scholarships, he left impact, not just headlines. And now, that whole check-in empire, it's looking shaky, real shaky. So the real question is, well, who's running Houston now? The man in the shadows or the one holding the key to the city? And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share to stay in the loop with all the latest tips. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an update, and I'll catch you in the next video.